Okay, so good day. This time we're going to discuss the first chapter or first module of our course, Research for Managers. No? Again, as I mentioned, no, research is a systematic process of inquiry aimed at discovering new information, validating existing knowledge, and solving a complex problem. So it is an essential component of academic, scientific, and business fields helping to inform decisions, improve processes, and advance understanding. Research follows a structured approach that involves identifying a problem, reviewing existing literature, collecting and analyzing data, and drawing conclusion based on findings. It can be qualitative, focusing on subjective insights, and experiences, no, or quantitative, emphasizing numerical data and statistical analysis. Regardless of the approach, research must adhere to ethical principles to ensure
Yeah.
credibility and reliability. Research serves various purposes, including exploration, description, explanation, and prediction. Exploratory research investigate a relatively unknown topic to generate insights and hypotheses. Descriptive research aims to provide a detailed account of a phenomenon, while exploratory research seeks to determine causal relationship between variables. Predictive research, on the other hand, uses existing data to anticipate future trends and behavior. So the choice of research type depends on the objectives and the nature of the problem under investigation. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our first presenter this semester. Go ahead.
Hi, sir. Hi, everyone. Good morning. By form of introduction, I am Joy May Barcenas, and I wanted to share with you guys the chapter one of our subject, Research for Managers, that is Introduction to Research. So, um, on to our next slide, please. Thank you. We have the list of agendas for the day. We have introduction to research, stages of academic research, classification of research reports, internet mediated research, and how to select a research topic. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, as defined, research is the process of investigation that aims to create knowledge, validate established theories, or solve real world problems in various fields of study. So, upon checking, the etymology of word research comes from Middle French word recherche, meaning to seek. So, in simplest form and simplest term, research is for seeking knowledge and seeking truth. Um, Various formats also of research varies depending on the goals and perspective of the study. So we have fundamental research and um, applied research. Fundamental research is theoretical in nature, aiming to broaden one's comprehension of the subject matter uh, without immediate practical applications. Meanwhile, applied research concentrates on resolving real world issues or enhancing existing process and their application. These two complement each other because it becomes the basic or the framework of one's research. Next slide po. Next slide. Thank you. So for the stages of academic research. So academic research or the stages of academic research usually follows the series of steps that we have enumerated on the board. Um, Basically, each one of these steps is as important as one of the ones listed. So to go into our first step, we have identifying research problem. So initially, we have questions, we have queries um, that we wanted answers. Being able to identify a good research problem is a solid ground, solid framework for a good academic research. Then we now proceed to reviewing existing literature. More probably than not, there are those who ask the same questions as we have, um, that they wanted answers as well. So there are those literatures related to previous researches that we could use in our academic research. Third is formulating hypotheses or objectives. So, hypotheses during our primary education, secondary education, hypothesis is tagged as the educational guess. In our subject matter right now, hypothesis is the um, testable predictions about testing the testable predictions of the relationship of the variables. Meanwhile, objectives outline the specific goals and outcomes um, that we wanted the answers from the said research. Designing research methodology goes about what goes into the research. Um, what approach, what strategy, how do we deal with the research problem that we have identified first. We could now proceed with the collecting data, which involves, well, gathering relevant information related to the research problem that we could address the research objectives. Now that we have the design methodology and the data collected, we could now proceed into analyzing and interpreting results. With analyzing data based on the result of the collected data, based on the available information that we have, we could now proceed to um, uh, connect the data, the design, um, and our hypotheses and objectives into our results by form of interpretation. Now that we have analyzed it, we now interpret the results based on the available data, literature, hypothesis, and our objectives. We could now draw our conclusions that is related to our inquiry. Now, how do we do communicating findings? So, communication of research findings is essential for sharing discoveries. Again, we have to, this is mentioned earlier that research study should be original and, um, n- what do you call it? Not plagiarized. Well, not plagiarized because it is a form of, um, this should be, this should be original and a test of the available knowledge since we are challenging previous related research already. So on the last stage of academic research is utilizing research findings. Um, from the conduct of the study, we will be able to utilize the research findings because what is the intention of our academic research is because we wanted answers from the current trends or there could have been a new phenomenon that happened that's related to the subject matter. That's why we wanted answers. And the utilization of the research findings usually helps with the answer, um, and could assist, we could help with the answers related to our initial inquiry. Next slide po. Thank you. So, activities and tasks relative to academic research engagement. Um, so, furthermore, we have the earlier we have the stages of academic research, right? So now, what do we mean by activities and tasks relative to academic research engagement? We have here listed a couple of those that is also available in the book. Um, First would be peer review and revision. So it means critical evaluation by experts in the field. Peer feedback helps validate findings, improve clarity, and ensure methodological rigor. Um, since we are um, since we are now doing our academic research, more probably than not, though we have those that initially check those that initially submitted their research as well, um, or those that comes from the same um, field that we are in. So peer review and revision usually is a form of constructive criticism related to the academic research. We now have reflecting on ethical considerations, which ensures research integrity and fosters trust in research outcomes. I think we will um, always hear about ethical considerations because, again, it was mentioned that we have to let, we have to, we have to consider um, how we would be able to gather data, how we'll be able to put out the data in consideration of ethical premise. Addressing limitations, transparent reporting of limitations demonstrates scholarly integrity and helps contextualize findings informing future research efforts to overcome identified constraints. So, addressing limitations, this could talk about um, limitations such as the sample size, constraints. Could there be an issue with the data collection and methodological limitation? So we just need to be able to um, be transparent about what happens during the study and what are our limitations while doing the said study. Contributing to theory and practice, we have to translate research findings into actionable insights, guiding policy decisions, informing organizational strategies, or addressing societal challenges. So, in this case, it always it always would go back to reviewing existing literature. So, when we need to contribute to theory and practice, because there's this step that needs to be followed, and it would always be reviewing available available data, available literature. Revisiting and iterating. Research is iterative, often prompting further inquiries or refinements based on new evidence, emerging trends, or unanswered questions. When we say iterative, it is often prompting further inquiries. It could also be a form of refinements or what do you call it? A revision on the available data because again, it could be an obsolete one already. Next slide, please. Thank you. Collaborating and networking. Collaborative efforts strengthens research impact and promote interdisciplinary approaches to complex challenges. So, collaboration with your peers, again, peer review, um, mentors and community usually gives different take, different insight, different perspective on the subject matter. Integrating technology and innovation is advancements in technology enable innovative research methodologies, data visualization techniques, and collaborative platforms that enhance research efficiency and accessibility. Again, research is nowadays a little lighter, a little um, easier since internet is always at the end of our hands. So we could do always check uh, available research methodologies. Promoting diversity and inclusion. Researchers strive for equitable representation, respect cultural sensitivities, and promote inclusive research environments that celebrate diverse voices and experiences. So with this one, what we need to understand is we have to respect cultural sensitivities, promote inclusivity so as to mitigate biases related to the study. Continuing professional development, Continuous learning cultivates expertise, fosters intellectual curiosity, and sustains research excellence over time. So, as we all know, uh, studying is a lifelong journey, and with how it is related to academic research is this is all our research will also be used in may it be in our professional development or into the development of what the case is about. Next slide. Thank you. So we have listed the classification of research reports, but we will go deep dive into the following slides. Next slide. So um, technical reports provide detailed documentation of experimental procedures, results, and conclusions in technical fields such as engineering, sciences, and applied research. Tech reports or technical reports emphasize clarity, precision, and practical applications, making them uh, a resource that is with value to engineers and industry professionals seeking for, again, technical information. Scientific papers are formal publications presenting original research findings, theoretical advancements, or empirical studies in peer reviewed journals. If I could give a good sample for scientific papers, there is this the Lancet that is published by Elsevier. If you could check that, that is a good sample for scientific papers. Theses and dissertations, extended research documents submitted as requirements for academic degrees, typically at the master's or doctoral level. So thesis and dissertation usually follows guidelines and what do you call it? Undergo by academic committees. It was mentioned earlier by Doc Abante to assess the competence and the proficiency because again we need the study to be original and not plagiarized. Policy papers bridge the gap between research and practical applications in governmental, nonprofit, or advocacy organizations. Usually, um, policy papers synthesize research findings and recommendations to inform the policymakers, stakehold- stakeholders, or general public on specific issues that we need answers from. Next slide. So white papers aim to educate, influence decision making, and position organizations as thought leaders in their respective fields. Usually, research findings, case studies, offers authoritative insights, and strategic recommendations within the domains. Um, may it be for technology, healthcare, finance, or education. Conference papers are short to medium length research presentations delivered at academic conferences, symposiums, or workshops. So these are preliminary findings, ongoing research, or innovative methodologies with a condensed format. Journal articles are concise, peer reviewed publications presenting original research findings, theoretical contributions, or critical reviews within specific academic disciplines. They undergo editorial and peer review processes um, and usually varies in format rel- based on the empirical studies or the theoretical analysis of literature reviews. Research monographs are comprehensive, in depth publications focusing on a specific research topic, theory, or methodology. Usually, these are books providing extensive coverage of research, um, theoretical frameworks, and scholarly debates. Next slide. Annual reports summarize organizational achievements, financial performance, strategic initiatives over a fiscal year, incorporating research-based insights, market analysis, or performance metrics. Mostly, annual reports are vital to stakeholders, shareholders, um, because this is their gauge into checking if they are still performing financially well, and if they are hitting their goals. Evaluative reports use research methodologies such as surveys, interviews, or case studies to evaluate goals, objectives, and achievements against predefined criteria. These reports are use research methodologies such as surveys, interviews, or um, case studies to evaluate reports from organizational learning, strategic planning, and improvement efforts within governmental agencies, non-profit organization, and private enterprises. Working paper, case studies document real world experiences, challenges, or successes within specific contexts, industries, or organizational setting. We all encountered case studies, and it mainly discusses learned lesson, uh, usually SWOT analysis, and provide applicable answer to initial inquiry related to the subject. Working papers are preliminary research outputs or draft versions of articles, reports, or research findings circulated among researchers, scholars, or policymakers for feedback and collaboration. Working papers usually facilitate scholarly exchange, interdisciplinary collaboration, and timely dissemination of research insights within the academic community. Usually, these are used within the academe. Next slide, please. Discussion papers present critical analysis, theoretical debates, or policy implication related to specific research topics, emerging trends, or societal issues. Um, Discussion papers contribute to, again, academic discourse, policy debates, and understanding of the contemporary issues um, through 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 research and informed analysis. So, research briefs provide concise summaries of research findings, policy implications, or strategic recommendations tailored for policymakers, practitioners, or the general public. Research briefs usually bridge the gap between academic research and practical applications. So, if you could see, um, and mentioned on the board is this type of research report is tailored for policymakers, practitioners, or the general public because this is a bridging this is the bridge that helps the academic research and practical applications. Technical memos communicate technical information, research updates, or project status reports within organization, research teams, or project stakeholders. So, technical memos usually ensure technical memos usually provide timely update related to the related to operational insights, ensuring as a support to decision making and project management. Next slide. Industry reports analyze market trends, competitive landscapes, or sector specific developments based on research findings, data analysis, or expert designs. So it usually cater industry professionals, investors, or policymakers seeking actionable intelligence, again, to analyze market trends and to be able to at least help with the sector-specific development. Review articles critically assess existing literature, theoretical frameworks, or empirical studies within specific academic disciplines or interdisciplinary fields. Um, since we have to do peer reviews, review existing literature, review articles as a guide in assessing the available literature related to your research report. Policy briefs translate research findings, policy recommendations, or strategic insights into concise, accessible formats for policymakers, stakeholders, or advocacy group. Usually, they highlight key research findings and propose actionable policy solutions. So for our next topic, that is internet mediated research. Internet mediated research refers to the use of online resources, digital tools, and virtual platforms to conduct various stages of the research process, from literature reviews to data collection and dissemination of findings. When we say internet mediated research, this is the form of research with um done with the help of the internet. So usually the tools and data available in the internet is what we need whenever we do or the result of our internet mediated research. So what are the importance of internet mediated research? First, it provides access to information. As internet is a big repository of data, it is now accessible to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Use of digital tools and technologies. Again, with the assistance of internet, it is now an easy access to tools and technologies available. Also, could help with advancement related to technologies. Third is the conduct of online surveys and data collection. I believe we might have encountered online surveys through the internet. Well, again, online surveys. May it be using Google Form? Is it Google Form? Uh, or also those type of uh, online surveys that we do from in our professional setting. Fourth is the conduct of digital humanities and computational research. Digital humanities integrate digital tools and computational methods to analyze cultural artifacts, textual data, and historical records in interdisciplinary research. Computational research advances interdisciplinary collaborations, theoretical frameworks, and innovative methodologies in humanities, social sciences, and cultural studies. Last on the importance is it promotes open access and scholarly communication. Again, with the internet being as accessible as ever, we could now access we are promoting open access. Internet mediated research promotes open access and scholarly communication because this is where the usual what do you call this, scholarly debates, academic related debates happens based on the internet. Next slide. So other considerations in employing internet mediated research. Right. So on the first consideration, ethical consideration. So why do we have to consider um, ethics when we do or when we employ internet mediated research? We have to be able to at least give our respondents or our um, participants of the study that all of the data being collected will be used accordingly. Digital and information literacy. Uh, since digital skills are essential in navigating online resources, it is also a must for us to have information literacy, because not all information available in the internet should be consumed. Online communities and crowdsourcing. Internet mediated research usually engage online communities to collaborate on research projects. So again, since we wanted immediate, or we wanted to have connection to others in an instant, online communities and crowdsourcing is the way to go to at least have, or to be to consider in employing internet mediated research. Digital ethics and research integrity. So aside from the ethical consideration, there is also this digital ethics and research integrity. It was mentioned a little earlier as well, that when we do research, we have to at least give our participants or respondents the data privacy consent, the data privacy notice, in order for us to at least have the ethics in doing the said study. Challenges and limitation research, uh, and limitation. So internet mediated research usually faces challenges, since again internet is just an arm away. It could be a source of information overload, and then, or if not, on the other end, it could be there are no to limited ideas, or literature available. So researchers mitigate challenges by verifying data accuracy, addressing bias in digital data, and enhancing digital literacy. Digital preservation and data management ensures long-term access and usability of data, um, and artifacts for the upcoming, or for the users of the coming years. Um, Online learning and research collaboration. So we usually have, or nowadays, especially after the pandemic, mostly are into online learning. This is mainly because, again, this is already an internet mediated one, and an easy access for everyone. Digital transformation in research institutions. Digital information in research institutions integrate advanced technologies and data driven innovation to enhance research capabilities. Uh, Next would be online peer review and publication. Um, so when we say peer review and revision, we could also talk about the online peer review and publication. Again, this should be in form of constructive criticism, and online peer review promotes transparency, collaboration, and exchange in academic publishing. Digital health and telemedicine research talks about the digital health technologies, platforms, and health applications supporting research on healthcare delivery. So, why do we have to consider digital health and telemedicine research? Is because digital health integrates expertise and ethical considerations already. Online behavioral research and experimental design utilizes the platform, virtual experiments, online surveys, and in order to investigate behaviors and social interactions the in a diverse population. Last is digital humanities and cultural heritage research. So, to explore cultural artifacts, historical records, and literary texts, we are now using digital tools and multimedia archives to analyze, interpret, and preserve cultural heritage. Next slide, please. So now we are on to our um, second to the last topic, that is how to select a research topic. First is to reflect on personal interests and expertise. Choosing a research topic begins with introspection and reflection on personal interests, passions, and areas of expertise. Um, I've read that uh, there should be a form, an interest or a question that spikes your interest within your area of expertise. Second is to review relevant literature and research. So again, review of existing literature within the chosen field or discipline provides insights into current debates, gaps in knowledge, and emerging trends. Um, I think it is a must to know that or to note that um, the research topic would always go back to reviewing and having access to relevant literatures. Identify research gaps and novelty. Effective topic selection involves identifying gaps, conceptual gaps, and answered questions within existing literature and research. We also have to know why do we do the research in the first place? Why do we need to challenge the available data? Why do we have to know if there are unflipped stones and answered questions related to the said subject matter? Next slide. Consider societal relevance and impact. So, research topics with societal relevance and potential impact resonate with stakeholders, policymakers, and broader community interest. Um, I think again it was mentioned earlier that research topic should be feasible, original, um and with impact. Sorry, let me get that word right. And should be okay. So research topic should be feasible, original, and with practical implication. That one. And then the next would be evaluate feasibility and resources. Assessing the feasibility of research topics involves considering available resources, research methodologies, and logical constraints essential for conducting research. So, is the research feasible? Are there resources available? Are the available literature related to the said topic? Consult with advisors and peers. Seeking guidance and feedback from academic advisors, mentors, or peers enhances topic selection by soliciting diverse perspectives, disciplinary expertise, and methodological insights. Um, a new set of eyes would be able to assist whenever we have or when we check research topic. So consulting with an advisor would give you a new set of insight, a fresh take on the subject matter. Next slide. Brainstorm research questions and objectives. Brainstorming research questions and objectives refines topic selection by articulating clear, focused inquiries that guide research design, data collection, and analysis. So researchers um, usually formulate research objectives using the acronym SMART. It should be specific, it should be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Last is explore interdisciplinary perspectives. Interdisciplinary research topics integrate multiple perspectives, methodologies, or theoretical frameworks from diverse disciplines to address complex problems. On our last slide are the practical tips in choosing a research topic. So I have enumerated what was listed on the book. So to give you the list, we have, or first we have to employ a broad specific discipline technique. Second, we need to choose the research variables. Third is to identify the subject of inquiry. Four is to pinpoint the research locale. Five is to check on the available data and information. Six, again, review related studies. Seven, we have to draft, modify, and revise the working title. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you, Doc.
Okay. Again, as I mentioned earlier, no, the academic research follows a systematic process that ensure the validity, no, and reliability of findings. Okay. As the stages, no, the first stage actually is identifying a research problem, as our presenter mentioned, which involves selecting a relevant and significant issue to explore. So once the problem is defined, the next step is conducting a related literature review to understand existing studies and identifying gaps that research, no, can address. No, these steps helps refining research questions and hypotheses. No, the subsequent stage involves designing the research methodology, including selecting data collection methods such as surveys, interviews, or experiments. So data collection is followed by analysis where statistical or qualitative techniques are applied to interpret the findings. So the final actually stages involve drawing conclusions, making recommendations, and presenting the research through report presentation or through publications. No? Research reports can be classified, no, based on their purpose, no, audience, and structure. So one classification is empirical and theoretical reports. No? Empirical research reports are based on data collected through observation or experiments, while theoretical reports analyze and synthesize existing theories and concepts. So report can also be recognized as applied for basic research. No? Applied research focuses on practical problem solving, while basic research aims to expand theoretical understanding. Another classification is formal and informal research reports. The formal reports uh, follow the structured format, no, are published in academic journals, whereas informal reports may include internal documents or industry reports. Our presenter mentioned about the internet-mediated research refers to the use of online platforms and tools to conduct research activities such as data collection, analysis, and dissemination. So this approach has gained popularity due to its cost effectiveness, wide research, or wide reach and convenience. So common internet-mediated research methods include online surveys, virtual interviews, social media analysis, and web-based experiment. So we as researchers can gather insights from a diverse audience across geographical boundaries, making it an attractive option for large-scale students, no, and studies. So, however, challenges such as data security, participant authenticity, and ethical consideration must be addressed, not to ensure the reliability and credibility of the findings. And last topic that our presenter mentioned is about how to select a research topic. Selecting an appropriate topic is critical, no, for the success of a study. So a good research topic should align with the researcher's interest, academic background, and career goals. No? So kung kayo, ang expertise nyo right now is nasa marketing, dapat marketing related. Kung kayo ay nasa finance, dapat finance related. Kung kayo ay nasa business owner, dapat doon related. No po? So, a good research topic should align with the researcher's interest again, academic background, and career goals. It should address a relevant issue with significant implications for the field of study. So, feasibility study is another important factors actually to consider, as the availability of resources, time, and data can impact the scope of the research. So conducting a preliminary literature review helps to refine the topic by identifying gaps and potential research questions. Seeking feedback from mentors and colleagues can also provide valuable insights and help in selecting a focused, manageable, and meaningful topic. So sa pagpili ng topic, dapat alam natin, meron bang research gap? Kasi doon ka makakakuha at doon ka makakapag-decide kung kailangan mong gawa ng study. Pwede kasing may nabasa kang mga researches, pero hindi ka agree sa mga naging results. So pwede mong gawa ng study yon. Or ang study way back 2015, iba na ngayon 2025, so may gaps. Ayun, pwede natin gawa ng study yung ganun po dapat. Okay? So I think that's it for this topic.